Why isn't the veterinarian who runs Pfizer, Albert Bourla, why hasn't he been punished for this? I don't understand.
Well, so let's look at the history of punishments of pharma and what they've done over the years. So we know that between 2009, 2014, most of the top 10 drug companies, including Pfizer, paid fines totaling about $14 billion for fraud, illegal marketing of drugs, hiding data and harms. One of the most egregious examples was the Vioxx scandal. This was Merck, a drug that was marketed as an anti-inflammatory in 1999, supposed to be better than ibuprofen in terms of causing less stomach problems. And what they found ultimately was pulled because it doubled the risk of heart attacks. It's estimated it caused the deaths of 60,000 Americans, which is equivalent to the amount of Americans that died in Vietnam. What's very interesting is they were fined in 2011 $950 million. But when one looks at the amount of money they made from the marketing of the drug and all this, what they spent, they probably made $1 billion in profit, despite this drug, the fact that this drug caused heart attacks, and that Merck scientists knew. So when the investigation occurred, looking at all the litigation behind the drug, the chief scientist of Merck, in an internal email in March 2000, essentially said, "It's unfortunate about the cardiovascular effects of this drug, but we will do well and the drug will do well." Now, how do you explain that behavior, Tucker? So when one looks at the entity, the legal entity that is the corporation, they often, in the way that they conduct their business, behave like a psychopathic entity, like psychopaths. So what does that mean? Callous disconcern for the safety of others, conning others for profit, deceitfulness. You know, they fulfill that criteria. So if with everything I know, taking a step back, trying to understand, hold on a minute, why, certainly in the US and many other countries around the world, did they mandate, are they pushing the vaccine on kids? I think this is the downstream effect, my hypothesis is this, of a psychopathic entity that has had increasing, unchecked, visible and invisible power over our lives over the last 3 decades.
I believe that.
And I think the only way to address this problem is to tackle it at the root, which is, for example, my solutions are these, some very straightforward, simple ones. Although drug industry can be involved in developing drugs, they shouldn't be allowed to then test them and hold on to the raw data. The regulators shouldn't be funded by industry.
Of course not.
And politicians should not be taking money for campaign donations from Big Pharma.